All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Power 953 and Power953.com. Aladdin, Prince of the Airways, Mr. Hulab, coming to you live from the Stanley Steamer Performance Studio. And I got my dynamic, wonderful, incredible power listeners in the building. Y'all make some noise for the man of the hour, Tory Lanez. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go, sir.
How y'all doing? Everybody
Yeah.
good?
Looking good, looking good. All right, all right. Bruh, welcome to Orlando. Uh-oh.
Thank you.
You good? You good?
I'm a little
He's
sick today.
Yeah,
but
he's a
I'm
little
good.
under the weather, but we gonna make him feel good, make him feel at home. So before does everybody know the Tory Lane story? No? Okay. This guy has an incredible, incredible story. So,
Thank you.
do you mind if we start from the beginning?
Where's the beginning?
Oh man. Okay. Well, you're from Canada. Okay. Do you want to talk about, your mom's and just kind of your that situation or
Okay, well, when I was like 11 years old, my mom passed away. She died she had anemia, and basically, um, it caused her to get another disease that like only like 4 out of 1 million get a year. It's like a very rare disease that doesn't happen to everybody. Um, and when she died, I basically just kind of became like a problem child. Like I had mad problems at home. I was in school getting suspended. I have like 100 and something suspensions on my record, and I've been expelled from every school from 6th grade up until I dropped out at like 11th. I have been expelled from every school. They sent me to alternative schools, boot camps, boarding school. They sent me upstate. I got expelled out of all that. I guess I just had like I don't know, weird way of like looking at stuff. You feel me? So for me, I was never really good with like authority and people telling me what to do. So I just was always just in the Am I allowed to curse?
yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
cool. I'm trying to hold it in so hard. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? But for me, like a lot of crazy things have happened in my life, and I think that that's what started, you know, just the way that it kind of started for me. Like I started making music because it was the only way I felt like I could really express myself, as far as like the shit that I wanted to say. And it was crazy because like a year and a half later, right? My dad, um, he it's crazy. He walks in the house one day, right? He leaves. He goes on his trip to Jamaica. He walks in the house one day, and then he's like, "I just got married."
Whoa.
And she comes in the crib with 2 dogs. I'm like, yo, who the fuck is this bitch? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo. So then, boom. And I'm the youngest out of 6 kids. Same mom, same dad. So it was one of those situations where like from the oldest, everyone started kind of leaving because when she came in the house, nobody liked her. It was like, who is this bitch? Like I don't know if anybody in here has a step parent or a stepmom or a stepdad or something or someone a boyfriend or something, but like you don't really like that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like so it's just one of those situations where um you know I guess like after a while more and more family kind of left until like I was there alone. So, and during this time, I'm still getting suspended. My dad still don't know really what to do with me at this point. Um, you know, he got, you know, the lady in his ear like, yo, send him off to boarding school and all kinds of stuff. And I think after a while, I was just like, I was tired of just getting kicked out of school and stuff like that, and I kind of tried to channel it all into music. And so once I started making the music, and it just felt like I was just expressing myself, and like everything was just, I was just able to say what I wanted to say, like, and nobody could like arrest me or like kick me out of anywhere for saying what I wanted to say. Like, I never wanted to, you know, be a school person though. Like I wasn't ever one of them dudes who was like, yo, I'm gonna make it with school. Like, that's my thing. Math. Nah, like, I wasn't that guy. Like, you know, like, I was the guy that was, like, in the math class, and I was writing rhymes, and I was drawing pictures and stuff like that, you know? And, like, the teachers was just like, we just don't know what to do with you, you know? But let me bring you into the real story. So
Okay.
I start working everywhere, right?
Uh-huh.
And I eventually I land myself in Canada. I'm working jobs, and I worked everywhere. I worked at Wendy's, McDonald's, Subway, Walmart, fucking. I worked everywhere. I worked at this shit called the 84-cent store. I always tell everybody about this. This was the worst job I ever had. It's the 84-cent store. They had me, and remember, this is Canada. So they had me in the front of the store looking crazy with a big megaphone in my hand. And like the parking lot was connected to a Sears. So when people got out their car, I would have to be like, oh, get yours at the 84-cent store. It was like the worst job ever. Like it was horrible.
Terrible.
And they paid me like $5 an hour. It was horrible. It was bad. It was bad. And then after working all those jobs, I remember one day I was working at Denny's. And this was like one of those defining moments in my life. I was working at Denny's, and the day before I was at the studio. It was me and my brother. My brother actually got me this job. He was my older brother. And he got me this job, and I remember I was at the studio late, and I was working. Me and him were both at the studio late, and we were on the bus, the city bus. We was taking him home. It was real early in the morning, like 5 o'clock in the morning, and we're going home. And he's like, "Yo, bro, I got this shift, but I just can't work. I'm so tired, bro. I'm just so tired." And at the time, like I was still wired from the studio, but I knew I was tired. I'm like, maybe I could last a couple hours. I'm like, "Yo, I'll take your shift." So boom, I walk into Denny's. You know what I'm saying? I'm scrubbing the dishes, and I'm working in the back. You know, I just fall asleep out of nowhere, dog. Right? Yo, so I'm just in the back, just dazing off, dog. I'm just in La La Land, and I'm falling asleep. Then all of a sudden, this dude named Steve is my boss. He comes up to me, and he goes, "Yo, you just don't care about your job." He's like, "There's all these dishes backed up." He starts talking, and he's like, "Yo, you're fired." And I remember I walked out of Denny's that day, and I said to myself, I'm never, ever, ever in my life gonna clock in for another nigga ever again. Ever. And the only way that I'm gonna make in life, in general, is gonna be from this music and nothing else. And if I don't get it off this music, then I'm gonna get an AK and a fucking pound of coke, and I'm gonna go out like Scarface. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I just, you know, like that's how I felt about it. Like there was no other option for me, because it was like, can't do school. You know what I'm saying? I'm already in trouble. At this time, I was 16. I had 4 court cases at the same time. So I was already in court. There was days I was like, I don't even want to go to court. It was so much things going on. So for me, like, at those times, for me, like, I was just like, yo, I got to do this music. For the next year, the studio ground. It wasn't even a studio. It was a storage room. And it was in my aunt's basement. And basically, like, her basement was probably, I want to say, like half of this room, like in total, like, and it had 2 rooms. So basically it had one room, like in the back, it had a bathroom, a living room, and then it had like this small storage room that was probably like a square of this room, like where his camera is, probably to like where she is, and it's like that big of a square. And then there was like another little closet in there. And so boom, we set up a mic in the closet, and this dude named Rhymes, he was my homie. He had Cubase on the computer, and that was like this recording thing. So he had Cubase on the computer, and I remember for a year straight, I sat and I slept on the ground. I was just like this, and every day I woke up and just recorded. It was just like I woke up, recorded, smoked weed, might have called a chick one time, twice not, you know, I just, you know, whatever the case is. But then I went back to the program. My program was always the same. You know, my 18th birthday, I get this call. Ring, ring, ring. I answer the phone, and I'm like, yo, what up? And he goes, yo, what's up, bro? I'm trying to sign you. I'm like, who is this? Sorry, I'm sick. He goes, yeah, who is this? And he goes, it's Sean Kingston. So I'm like, yo, get the fuck off my phone right now, my nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I dead ass was like, yo, who like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who's calling me? But the number, the area code wasn't a Canadian area code. It really was an American thing. He's like, no, real talk, bro. It's Sean Kingston. I'm on the line with Justin Bieber right now. He puts Bieber on the phone, and once Justin got on the phone, I knew it was him because I just knew his voice. You feel me? So, boom, they're like, yeah, we want to sign you. You know, we want to take you to you know, we're gonna come to Toronto and we're gonna sing. We want to watch you sing and all this extra shit. And boom, they came up to Toronto. I sung for them, and then they just like lagged on me for like 3 months, right? So I was like, yo, like these niggas probably not really gonna sign me. And then all of a sudden, I don't know why, like I just was just like, I'm not gonna take no like for an answer. I'm gonna just do some real slick shit. And I just started using my head in this crazy way. And it was just like, as I started like thinking in this way, it was weird. Like I went and I asked my aunt for a ticket to LA to go meet with the uncle I haven't seen. I didn't even know what he looked like. I had never really seen him. So she gets me this ticket and I go and it's weird. He lived on Hollywood Boulevard. He lived on Hollywood and Garfield. It's right by Hollywood and Western. And basically, I go there, and right when I get off the plane, right? Because and actually, hold on, I gotta actually put this in here so y'all understand this. There was one time when I went to Miami before, and this is like while I was still in the basement.
Was this your first time coming to America? Was this
No.
Okay.
Because I was living in America, and then I went back to Canada.
Okay.
But there was a time, and I'm gonna take you back to the story. But there was a time when I was still in the basement or whatever cases, and we had went to Miami, and I went out there to give out mixtapes, and I had this freestyle on there, and I was giving it out, and I was selling the mixtapes, and I was down, and it was like Memorial Weekend or some shit, and I was selling the mixtapes, and you know whatever. I got the mixtapes out. I got 5,000 mixtapes out. Boom. So anyways, back to the story. So when I land now, right? I land in LA, and this is when I had a BlackBerry. So, you know, my shit's pinging, my shit's, you know what I'm saying? So, boom, I go and I open my phone. All I see is all this shit. Justin Bieber just stole lyrics from Tory Lanez, exposed on Worldstar, MTV News, So I'm like, what the fuck? So I go and boom, I guess he must have did a video rapping. It was his first video ever rapping. And he sang like, he must have used like 8 of my bars from this freestyle that was on this tape. The tape that I had, I gave it to somebody in Miami who happened to be Soulja Boy's artist at the time, who had this crazy link with Worldstar. And then he was like, yo, I heard this tape, and Justin Bieber stole these lines from this little nigga. This little nigga was on the beach, and he gave me, and this nigga was going so hard about it. His name's John Boy. And he was going so hard about it. He's like, yo, this nigga was on the beach, and he gave me this tape, and Justin Bieber stealing his lines. Here you go, Worldstar. And then when it went on Worldstar, it was like this huge thing. MTV News caught it. Everybody caught it. And then Sean calls me, right? He's like, yo, what's up? Like, you're in Canada, right? And I'm like, nah, yo, I'm in LA. You know, I'm just mingling. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't doing shit, though. You feel me? Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm just mingling. Yo, everyone's out here trying to sign me. It's crazy. He's like, yo, I'm coming to sign you next week. Next week came, and he really signed me. So then, boom, originally I was supposed to get signed to him and Justin Bieber. But at the time, Justin was too young to sign me. And then with all that stuff going on, it was just kind of like a weird thing. So I ended up signing with Sean Kingston for 3 years. The first year was good. You know, a lot of people started to get to know me. Like, a lot of my core fan base came from that time when I was on Worldstar Heavy, and I was, you know, doing a lot of stuff. And I didn't really have any help. Like, the whole time I was there, I was basically managing myself. I didn't have a manager. I was just putting out videos when I wanted to put them out. I just had 2 outlets. I had Worldstar and I had Hot New Hip Hop. And so as long as I had those 2, I was just working the shit out of them. So, like, boom, I was just shooting videos. You know, I bought myself a camera when I got my advance and a laptop. And the first thing I did was learn how to, like, edit and stuff like that. I started shooting my videos. Basically, my cousin would hold the camera, and then I'd edit the video, and just like it was that's how we kind of rocked it. And 2 years came, and like and I'm sorry if this story is like mad long, but like it really was a long adventure. So boom, 2 years came, dog, and I'm in this deal, and I'm like, I'm just not happy. I'm broke. I have no money, and like, it's weird, and I don't want to, talk bad about anybody, but basically, like, I was in Hollywood, and I'm living with my uncle at this point, and where his crib is just like the basement, except it's smaller. So, and it's just a room. Like, you walk in and it's a room. You feel me? Like, you walk in and the room is there. There's a bathroom and then there's a kitchen. And it's me, Jay, which is like my main dude with the braids. If you ever seen like old videos, this dude with the braids, he's like with me through all of this. So it was me, Jay, and my uncle, and we're all just thugging it out in this room. And my uncle is like 40 something. You feel me? And he's trying to support us, but at the same time, like, he's still an old man. Like, you feel me? He's like, like you guys gotta do something with your lives.
Gotta get a 9 to 5.
Nah, he never told me to get a 9 to 5 because I was really nice. Like, anybody who ever heard my music was like, yo, you're gonna go. Right. They were just like, it's a matter of when it happens. So for me, it was like he was just like kind of like, yo, you guys gotta get it together and this, that, and the third, and then boom, there was just basically I was living in Hollywood, and I would go on the roof to write, and on the roof, from the roof, I would look in the hills, and I could see Sean Kicks' house. It was so big, and I was just like, and I just remember being in there and being like, or being at my uncle's house and looking at, the house and being like, yo, and just getting so mad. Like, I was just so angry. Like, I was just like, why is my situation like this? It's like, why am I able to, like, it was weird. It was like, why am I able to see this guy's house right now? You feel me? Like, it's this big palace-looking house, and I'm sitting here in this, and I'm just fucked up. So I'm just like, yo, like, I just like, fuck. And then there was this guy. Now, I don't know if y'all ever heard of this brand called Pink Dolphin. Well, okay, the guy who made Pink Dolphin, his name, there's two of them. There's Nima and Cena. Now, when Pink Dolphin wasn't shit, and they were just starting, Nima, he was this guy, and he just started getting popping in the clothes. So Nima, he goes now, and he comes to me, and he's like, yo, bro, Sean keeps telling me that he's going to involve me in your contract, and bro, I just really want to do this music thing with you. And I didn't know him. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? I just liked his clothes. You feel me? I was like, all right, Pink Dolphin's hot. It's like, I like it. I feel like I'll be one of those first niggas to rock it. So then, boom, he's like, yo, I got you some new stuff, blah, blah, blah. He'd always bring me clothes. And he would always tell me that Sean's going to put him in my deal. But in my mind, I always knew that there was no actual way that he could be in my deal. It's not contractually possible. So then Sean would tell me, yeah, man, this guy Nima, he also wants to sign you. He wants to get involved, but, blah, blah, blah. He would always kind of shrug it off. So then for me, it was like a situation where, boom, I'm in this deal. I'm fucked up. I'm broke. And I'm like, yo, what am I going to do? So then my uncle, out of nowhere, just kicks me out the crib. So now I'm fucked up, I'm broke, and I'm homeless. And I'm like, and I'm in L.A. I'm like, yo, yo, well, what am I going to do? So then, boom, then I leave L.A. I go to Canada to, like, recuperate, and I leave Jay there. So I come back to L.A. empty-handed as fuck. Don't know where to go when I get off the plane. Empty-handed, like, yo, I'm going to make it happen. So, boom, I'm in L.A., and I'm just like, yo, no matter what, I'm going to drop my ego, because I had an ego at this time. Like, I still, remember, I was still on Worldstar, so certain things I still didn't want to do. Like, I wouldn't take the city bus. I wouldn't take the subway. I wouldn't let nobody catch me. Like, I was very good at faking it. Incredible. Like, incredible at faking it. So, for me, like, I wasn't doing certain things. I was staying out of the light, and I got to L.A., and I just said, yo, I'm going to drop my ego, and however this goes is just going to go. I called Nima on the phone. I said, yo, let me talk to you. Boom. We met up. And then we're talking to each other. And then, I just go, yo, look, Nima. And I would always try to low-key tell him the truth. But, like, I couldn't make Sean look bad. You feel me? So it was like one of those situations where, like, it just came to a point. And I'm just like, yo, look, my nigga. Like, he's lying to us both, bro. It's just not one of those things. Like, it's not going to, like, there's no contractual way that you can be in my deal. and there's no way that this can work. So the only way that this could work is if we either give him $50,000 to get out of the deal, or, you know, we just work until the deal's over, and, you know, when the deal's over, we'll do whatever. Now, this is around the time I met my manager, Sasha, and I just, you know, I wasn't really nothing because I took a year off. Like that whole time when I was in California and all this stuff was going on, I took a year off of music because it was like I needed to recuperate and figure out how the fuck I was going to get bigger than just dropping mixtapes. And so, boom, my manager is here. My manager is just there, and he's like, yo, you know, he starts telling me stuff, and he starts trying to help me, but it's like, you know, we're at the very beginning, so it's like it's nothing that I can really do. I'm not a star yet, you know? So, boom. Me and Nima, while I'm in LA, my manager's in Texas, me and Nima, we just kind of start getting this shit popping where he took me to a studio one time, and I realized that, like, I can do these hooks. Instead of making these whole records, I can just use all my creativity and doing a hook in like 5 minutes. And I did it with no paper. I didn't write anything, and I would just go in there and I would just start doing these hooks. And then boom, when Pink Dolphin was on the rise, I was living with Nima at this point. So when Pink Dolphin was on the rise, he was going to different artists and going, yo, I got a box of Pink Dolphin for you. Can I bring it to the studio? And he'd bring me to the studio with the box. And he'd be like, yo, here's this box. Yo, y'all got an aux cord? He would never tell him what he's about to play. And he would just start running through my hooks. And they'd be like, people would be like, yo, who is this? Like, yo, this kid right here. And then a lot of times they'd be like, yo, can you do that now? Like, can you do something on this beat? And I would just go in and I would just be so quick. And it would like the process of it, people would just be like, who is this nigga? Like, how, you know what I'm saying? Like, how is he doing this? So boom, the word starts getting around LA like, yo, there's this new kid, he's making crazy hooks, you need him in your session. So boom, me and Nima were knocking stuff out, and, you know, at the same time, Nima's brand is getting huge, you feel me? And, like, me and my manager still have, like, what we have going on. So boom, it comes to a point where me and Nima, I had to leave LA at one point because I was just there too long, and I went back to Texas to get it right with my manager. So me and me and him are still, like, cool friends to this day, but he ended up signing a producer named Nick Nack who made the beat for Beat It with Sean and Chris Brown and you know, a lot of other stuff. And basically he got into that, and I, you know, went back with my manager, and me and my manager start hashing, you know, stuff out, and I start making, you know, music at this point. Again, I come out with Conflicts in My Soul. I'm still this word around that this kid has the hooks. So then boom, you know, I get the hooks to this guy named Spiff, who was working for MMG at the time.
Spiff is right here in Orlando. What up, Spiff?
Okay, so boom, so we get with Spiff now, and there's this group of kids, and they come to me one day, and they're like, yo, we really want to work with you, and I'm like, yo, what's y'all niggas' name, man? And they're like, yo, the Mechanics, and I'm like, okay, but what y'all got? And then they played me a couple records, and I'm just like, you know what, this kid shit is tough, you know what I'm saying? So then I start doing all my hooks on the Mechanics beats. So then and Mechanics was managed by Spiff at the time. So every time I was sending them off to Spiff, Spiff was sending them to Meek, and this is when Meek was on fire. Like, Dream Chasers 2 had just been dropped, and, like, he's on fire, you feel me? So everything's going my way. I'm kind of, like, recording hooks every single day, and I have so many hooks that everyone's like, oh, Los want a hook. Oh, now Fab want a hook. Or French want a hook. This dude want a hook now. Oh, this person got. And then my hooks started going around everywhere somehow. So then everybody had hooks from me in this weird way, but it was like industry people that had hooks. And then when sometimes I'd come to sessions and they play stuff, and I'd be like, you know, that's me, right? And they'd be like, yo, I've been trying to find you. And it was just like things just started connecting. Boom, then I dropped the Conflicts in My Soul tape. Everyone's feeling it, and I'm just like, yo, I can't let this momentum die, and I just keep going hard, and then boom, I had this high expectation for 2 tapes, for the Conflicts of My Soul and the Chicks Tape 2, and this is like, I moved to Miami at this point, and I'm living with like, she's not my girl right now, but I'm living with my girl at the time. So basically, and nigga, I'm sneaking into mom's house because basically, like, that's where I was, like, laying. Remember, I don't have no crib now. So I'm sneaking in the window at night. You know what I'm saying? Mom's coming, I'm going under the bed. Yo, I'm in the closet, scrunch up, like, yo. So boom, like these are like moments where I'm like, yo, I gotta get out the situation. I'm put up every single night. She gave me her Honda Civic to take to the studio. I used to just ride and now me and that Honda, like we would take, and the studio was like an hour away. So I would just smoke, and that was like my way of clearing my head, and just I go to the studio. And like, nigga, I'm talking about the Honda was fucked up. It was broke down. And I would park that, and I would meet Play Picasso. This is like when I met Play, and I meet Play, and I'm in the studio, and boom, and like this dude Play is like, he's like, yo, bro, I got this studio. I work here every day. He lets me go in there for free every day. You feel me? And we create the Chicks Tape 2. So we create the Chicks Tape 2, and I stopped working with the mechanics at this point because some other miscellaneous shit. And I stopped working with the mechanics, but the mechanics are now popping now because everybody knows them because of my hooks. So boom, words going around that I don't really do the hooks no more, and that like the only real way to like get me is to talk to my manager. I'm like, you know, really working now. Like I'm in the press a little bit more now, and I'm not a star yet, but I'm there. So boom, I start working on this one album, and my manager, he just goes, yo, bro, he always tells me this. He goes, you know, the only thing that's gonna stop you is you. And basically, I'm like, well, what you want me to do? He's like, I want you to make music with different producers and people that, you know, are going to make your sound different so you don't just keep making the same music. He's like, don't you want to make something different? And then I thought about it, and I contemplated it, and I was like, you know what? All right. And then one day I made this song called Dry Your Eyes, and I sang the song, and it made me want to make the whole Lost Cause. And it made me want to call it Lost Cause and everything. And basically, I start making this tape, and this tape is incredible, but at the same time, like I don't have no expectations for it this time. I'm just like, yo, whatever happens, it's gonna happen. I put it out, and it goes. Godfather goes, Henny in Hand goes, everything just starts going. You feel me? So then I'm like, yo, this shit really went a little bit more because more people, and then like, you know, the shows, I start doing like, you know, my own headline tour, and it's like there's 100 people in the rooms, but like it's 100 and there's still people outside that couldn't get in because maybe the cap was only 100 or 200. Boom, every single time I kept going to these markets and giving my all. Like there was a time, it didn't matter who was in the markets. Like there was a time we went to Burlington, I don't know where the fuck that shit was, Vermont, and there was one person in the crowd. One person came to the show, and he got the show of his life. The show of his life. This nigga got the best show to ever. It's like you imagine you sitting right here, and I'm just performing the shit out of everything, nigga. I'm going extra hard, like yo, like he's getting the best show. We're all taking shots together on stage. You want to take a shot? This guy's getting the best show. Like you feel me? We're all drunk together. I'm on stage. I'm laying down on the ground laughing. He got the best show ever. You feel me? So boom, like it didn't matter who was in the venues. You feel me? It was just about giving the best show so that the next time it was gonna increase. And I had that feeling like no matter what, like they started putting me on other people's shows now. So now I have this thing in my mind because there's this, like, I don't know if y'all don't know, but like I didn't just want to get famous or I didn't just want to get signed. I want to be the biggest artist in the world. You feel me? In the whole world, and I'm going to be the biggest artist in the world. So for me, like,
it was
son. Not real. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it's real. I like that.
Like, you know, I'm gonna be the biggest artist in the whole world. So for me, like, I'm like, you know, I gotta start doing things differently,
right?
And I gotta start making things happen. So at this point, you know, I made Godfather and I made Henny in Hand, and Benny Blanco, which is who signed me, him and an A&R named V. Elderman end up signing me. They find me and they're like, yo, we can't believe that the same guy who sings Godfather is the same guy singing Henny in Hand. And they were like, you know, we want to make you take it to those levels and those places. And at the time, everybody was trying to sign me. Like, I started getting calls from, and it wasn't like, these weren't like the A&Rs anymore that were trying to sign me. It was like, these were like the chairmen of these labels. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the big guys. So for me, it was like, I'm going to different labels, different people want to sign me. And it's like, I'm having meetings with like Craig Kalman and John Janix. These are like the big people, you feel me? Like the people that oversee everything. So I'm like, you know, I'm like, damn, like I'm at a good place. I'm doing right, you feel me? Then it just seemed like Interscope and Benny, and you know, Benny had this independent label, and basically my record label is through Interscope. My record.
So you're a subdivision. Of the
Yeah,
scope.
like I'm signed to Interscope with my record deal, but like my independent label is with Universal. No. That's Mad Love. That's what I got signed to for Benny Blanco. But my stuff and like what I rep and what we bring to the table, we call it One Umbrella. I don't know what's that on my end, you know what I'm saying?
Nice.
But basically, it's One Umbrella, and basically that just means that it's a corporation. It's a big thing, and every little thing, you know, comes under it. Like Tory Lanez as a brand goes under the umbrella. You know, Swave Nation as a brand is under the umbrella. You know, it's nothing is really over the umbrella. Like when you see an umbrella, and you see the bottom of it, you know, it's a place to hold it, and when it opens, there's you know, the flaps that make sure that the water doesn't get on you, but at the same time, there's a whole bunch of little things that hold that umbrella together. And we look at those little things as businesses and things that help each other so that the umbrella can never fall. So let's say Swave Nation as a brand by itself is ever doing bad, the Tory Lanez brand will help him so that the umbrella doesn't fall. You know, so when other artists come out and they have their stuff, like I don't ever want to be the dude, because of the situations that I was in, I don't ever want to be the dude that signs artists and they're just, you know, they don't have either the creative control to do what they want. Like I want, you know, the artists that end up being down with the umbrella, they're all going to have their own Swave Nation or their own thing, and those things will still be under the umbrella, you know, but that's how we encompass it and keep it all one, because it's one umbrella. But basically, so, you know, with Interscope and all this stuff happening, you know, they put me in the studio, and, you know, they're like, yo, this is your first session. We want to see what you're going to do. And I made Say It the first time. I walked in there and I made Say It the first time. They put me in there with this producer named Pop Monzel, and at the time, you know, he was fiddling around with the track, and I heard the sample, and I was like, yo, this is crazy, you know, and I just did it. I don't really write anything down, so it's just off of feeling how I felt at the moment and what the song was given to me, and you know, it kind of got it went number one. It got
Round of
MTV
applause,
Jam
round of
of the
applause.
Week. A lot of things happened to it, and nah, it's all good. You know, a lot of things happen with the record, and you know, right now we're on the way to making the second record come out. It's about to come out on January 28th.
Exclusive.
Yeah, and it's called LA Confidential, and you know, I'm excited about it because it's very different. But you know,
Well,
yeah.
I told you had an incredible story. It's a couple of things I want to touch on. So you said, well, first and foremost, y'all know him with the Say It record, but I met you when he was on tour with G-Eazy, but this guy spits like bars for days. You know, so when people, you know, the masses are introduced as the record being Say It, what do you feel as far as, because you're just one of those artists you can't put in a box. What is the album going to be singing, rapping? Is it going to be?
The album is going to be musical. It's going to be musical. I make music for the people, so regardless of the fact, like I don't make music just to sing or just to rap. Like I make, you know, I tell stories, you know, and you know, I need to rap and sing to make some of those stories really vivid and visual in your head when you hear it. So either way, it has to be divvied up, you know.
Right.
But I will say the album is just extremely classic. Like I need people to understand with me, like I don't have a limitation on what kind of music I put out. Um, the like I want people to understand that I'm totally different. Like I may have came out with Say It, and you know everyone's trying to jock this whole like let's sample this retro music style as
Right.
if like they never took it from me, but it's whatever. Like it's one of those situations where it's like I'm off that, you know. For me, I want people to know that like this that's coming and this new stuff that's coming is gonna be different, but it's gonna be incredible. You know, it's gonna be timeless, and I'm real excited about it. But there's no only rap or only singing.
Right. Is there one that you enjoy over the other?
You know, I think regardless, I always enjoy melody more than anything. That's what makes the hits. You know, if there was no, you know, melody or melodic value in the music, you guys wouldn't be here right now. You know, if I was just rapping and it was just my voice rapping, I mean, I'd have fans, but at the same time, like, melody is what brings people to the table. You know, it's what makes people buy. It's because they can't get something out of their head so much that they gotta buy it. You know, so for me, I like to sing, but I also like to rap. It just depends on what I'm in the mood for at the moment.
Got you. Is the album complete yet?
No,
No.
hell no.
Still working. Oh.
It's gonna come out this year though. It's coming out most likely like summertime around that time. I want to say. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on it.
Okay. We know how these album dates get pushed back. Well, it's a lot going on in the news, the media. You say you want to be one of the biggest artists in the world, which you're going to be.
The biggest.
The biggest. What are your feelings on award shows?
Shit, I want the awards. The fuck?
I mean, you know, it's a lot of movements going on with, you know, boycott this, don't go to that. You know, I mean,
I'm not boycotting shit.
Okay.
Fuck
you
that.
know.
What am I supposed to not get an award? The fuck? Like, all right, like, you know, I don't know. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I just saw it in the news or whatever the case is, but I don't know what the video was about or what I personally as a black man am not gonna stop myself from getting any awards,
Nominated or not.
And I'm
Right.
gonna come to every ceremony and I will receive my award. What I don't even know what that whole thing was about.
Yeah, I mean, you know, because at one point it was boycott the Grammys. Now it's boycott the Oscars. You know, so I just wanted to know what was your take on.
I mean, why was it boycott the Grammys?
You know, I don't know.
Is it,
but
like, is it like a racial thing?
Yeah, they trying to
Trying
to spin it that way. But
they can't boycott the Grammys or any of that stuff because the reality of it is like, look at Kendrick. He has like 11 nominations. He's black.
Exactly.
Like, when it's there, it's there.
When it's your
Can't
time,
get mad if they didn't want to choose you for a Grammy, fam. Like, you didn't want to choose you, my nigga. Like,
wasn't your time yet.
Yeah, maybe we just didn't feel the same way about the music this year that we felt about it another year, or maybe we just didn't feel the same about the films that we felt about back then, you know. And it's like you can't. I think, and not to take anybody's thing away because I don't really know. You feel me? I don't know what's going on, but when it comes to me, I'm not stopping myself from getting no Grammys. If I don't get in the Grammys or in an Oscar or in anything like that, as a matter of fact, I think we're nominated for the Oscars, for Lord knows, because of that, because of Creed. So I ain't boycotting shit. like, you know, that's just my take on it.
All right, last one before we let you get up out of here. You have such an incredible story. You're such an inspiration to kids in the hood, people that's just trying to chase their dreams. Sometimes we put these expectations on ourselves and a timeline. What is something or a piece of advice that you would give somebody watching right now as far as being patient and making it?
The key is to consistently put out quality things and to understand that to build the Great Wall of China, it took them, they didn't just throw a bunch of bricks there. They you know, easily with each brick, and I don't know if the fucking wall of China is actually made of bricks, but I'm sure, however whenever you're building anything, you have to take each brick and slowly put it down and make sure that the levels is right, that everything is right, that, you know what I'm saying? You don't want your house landing off to the side, but you can only have that preciseness if you take time to do it in a quality way. And that's with any of your crafts, with anything that you want to do. You have to take time to put the quality into it. You have to think about what is going to make this have more quality than the last thing that came out, you know? What can I do? That's why with my music and my videos that I direct, I always have stories. I don't know if you ever really look at the videos, but there's always stories to the videos. There's always more to the video than just, you know, what most artists would do. And I do that because, you know, it's about being cinematic with the things that you do. Things that look so good, it's like, damn, somebody should put that in a movie, you know? And I just feel like, you know, when you work hard and you actually are working towards something and you want it that much, God and the universe yield to you. You feel me? Like it's like everything comes to you. It's like in a weird way. It's like when you just have the sheer want for something so much, it comes. Last thing I'll say is, me personally, like, I feel like personally, they say we use like 10 or 5% of our brains. I feel like the other percentage of our brains, you know, the other 90% that we're supposed to be using is built up of things that you believe. And I feel like the amount of belief you have in doing something, you know, will dictate whether or not it happens or not. The reason why we can't fly is because for years we believe we can't fly. So even if you thought as hard as you can, I'm gonna jump and fly, the rate of how fast your brain would say you're not gonna actually fly right now would stop you from flying. You know what I'm saying? Because it's I feel like that's built up of belief. You know, the things that you believe and, you know, you believe that are possible. You know, and you gotta believe and have faith in God and just go hard at what you want to do. And I believe those are the keys to being successful.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tory Lanez is going to be around for a very, very long time. Plug the digital outlets, all the social media stuff, if you're fans and stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Want to get in touch with you?
My Twitter and my Instagram is the same handle, Tory Lanez, ToryLanez. For all of the people who are like with the movement and, you know, want the clothes and stuff like that, you can go on swavenation.com or foreverumbrella.com, which is basically where we sell all the merch and stuff like that. So, yeah.
There it is. Tory Lanez, ladies and gentlemen, right here on Power 95.3, power953.com. Hola!